Vessel. Welcome to Week in Review, where we take a look at all the reviews we did last week, give you a quick rundown of them. If you want to know more, we'll include links in the description where you can see the full review of those games. Here we go.
Hey everybody, Z Garcia here. Last week we put out a new Blender. Go check that out. And I reviewed 3 games. I reviewed Termiti, or Termites in English, which is a sort of a fighting area control game where your termites are fighting with your opponent's termites to take over their mounds and score them for victory points. The game is a little too static for me. It's a little too tit for tat, you know, and I found it to be not highly replayable. Also didn't think it scaled very well, and so it just didn't engage me. There's a lot of other games that I feel do a similar thing in a better manner. In fact, next game I reviewed, called Topoum, is a game that I think does something very similar. It's a hex grid, but it does it in a more interesting and a fluid way. This one's card-driven, and so you're going to be playing cards to move your little moles and to position them to create straight lines where they can see one another from far away, and you score the distance between them. That's the general gist of the game. And it's clever, it's great, it's much more dynamic, it's robust, it has a lot of variability because the cards you use change from game to game. That one I recommend. And lastly, I reviewed Jump Drive, which is a simplified version of Race for the Galaxy, kind of. And it works very well. It's not as good as Race for the Galaxy, in my opinion, but it's sort of like popcorn for gamers. It's the kind of game that's so short and so clever, it's about 15 minutes, you're going to want to shuffle up and play again. It has that, like, one more potato chip feel to it. And I really like that one. I would very much recommend it if you like race, or if you like that sci-fi vibe, or just drafting, playing cards out in your tableau. It works very well. So, that's it for me. I will see y'all next time.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Week in Review. I was part of 7 videos this week, and 4 of them were reviews, and one of which, the first one, was Shipwrights of the North Sea. This is part of the Rune Saga series of games, where there is Shipwrights of the North Sea, Explorers of the North Sea, and then Raiders of the North Sea. And this one has a kind of a card-driven format where you're simply trying to build the most ships, and the first person to build 4 ships, get the most points for those ships, is the winner. And then the next one was My First Bonanza. Not really my cup of tea as far as reviews are concerned, but I did enjoy this game because I enjoyed Bonanza for what it was back in the day, and it's kind of cooled for me a little bit. And now that my younger son is coming up and is interested in board games and playing games and that type of thing, this was a cool little stepping off point, and it has a really cool incremental system of introducing somebody, the younger people, to these more modern games. I also was able to do a product review for a storage solution for Star Wars Rebellion from Fantasy Flight. Now, Zenbens is the person, the company who created this product, and I really enjoyed it. Go check out the review, and you'll see why I enjoyed it so much, I think. So that is Zenbens for Star Wars Rebellion. And then Tom and I also did a review for Miami Dice called for Rum and Bones Second Tide. Now, Rum and Bones is a game that we both enjoyed, the first iteration of it, but now they have cleaned up some of the rules. They've fixed some of the clutch points, I guess you could say, from the original game, and they have reintroduced this game. Really enjoyed it. Go check out that review as well. It is a great new version of the game. And I also did 3 other kind of unboxing videos on steroids, where I take out, I open the box and I show everything that you get in the game, but then I talk through many of the different aspects of what you get in the box as well. So unboxing videos kind of on steroids, but I did them for 3 of the newer expansions for Imperial Assault. First of all, I did the big box expansion for Jabba's Realm, and then I also did a video for Jabba the Hutt, which is a new villain pack, blister pack, and then Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, which is another ally pack in that Imperial Assault line. So go check out those as well, let you know what's in there so that you can make a better informed decision on whether or not you need to purchase that particular expansion for Imperial Assault. And that's it for me. See you guys on the flip side.
What's up, guys? My name is Brian Drake with the latest retro. So this week in review, I took a look at a couple of games. Took a look at first Viticulture by Stonemeyer Games. Viticulture is one of my favorite worker placement games. I think I gave it I don't know, 8.5 or 9 or something like that, only because I like Tuscany so much, the expansions that Tuscany talks about, but we'll talk about that in another review. Viticulture is a great worker placement game. It's got a bunch of great mechanics, a lot of cool visual appeal to it. Viticulture is a game that you should definitely check out. Whether you like Euros or you don't, it's one of those good games you can ease people into Euro games just because you're doing something and then the art is there. It's just a beautiful game. Second, talked about Tides of Madness by Portal Games. It's a neat little 2-person drafting game. I mean, it's just drafting done right. It's a re-implementation of Tides of Time, but it's done with the Lovecraft universe, which I know gets overplayed a lot of times, but it's public domain, so you're going to see a lot of it. But cool thing about this one is it does add some mechanic of madness where you get to potentially win through a different method by getting madness, or by not getting madness tokens, getting your opponent madness tokens. So that's the 2 games I took a look at this week. For more information, follow me on Twitter, TheLatestRetro. We'll see you next time.
Hello everybody, this is Santi. This week I took a look at Celestia, a really nice and gorgeous filler, light game, push your luck style. That's the reason I gave it an 8 and a seal of excellence. So if you're looking for a filler, a light game, a family game, you might want to check out Celestia. See you guys.
It's Roy Candy from Epic Gaming Night, and this week I took a look at the old school game Wiz War. This is a game where you're wizards running around a labyrinth trying to collect treasure and knock out the other wizards. This is the game that came out before Magic the Gathering but has crazy similarities to it. So make sure to check out my review of that game. And then also I did the expansion for it, Malefic Curses, which adds a 5th player and adds some new cards to add to your spell book to make the game even more crazy. Also make sure to check out Favorite Game Friday. This week we talked about 2-player games, talked about what game is our favorite game to play against one other player head on head. So make sure to check out what all the contributors think the best 2-player game is. So until next week, I'll see you then.
Hey folks, it's been a while, it's been a long holiday, but this week I did 2 reviews. I'm going to need to catch up something here. But I had a hard choice on which one to do. Should I take this one or should I take this one? It's my decision, right? Why not both? Why not Zoidborg? Well, anyway, these 2 books are actually choose your own adventure games books. This one is for the adult audience and this one is for the younger audience. You might like both. They are choose your own adventures, but they have a twist to it. They are all very nicely illustrated with a lot of great pictures and yeah, let's see. You see? So this is a nice kiddies book and this is a horror story with thrillers and nice, horror, thriller, very cool, very cool. So if you want to find out how they are, check them out.
Okay, for me, we'll start with Hollow Grid, which was an augmented reality game in which you use your iPad, you see the pieces move and they fight, but it's not that interesting of a game. The augmented reality is a little buggy and it's just not that fantastic, right? I mean, you just scan cards and play the game. Is really the best way I can describe it. Phase from AEG, besides being horribly marketed, where they put it in a black box, didn't tell anyone about it, this is a CCG style game. It's basically all there, where they're marketing it as, hey, break the game, and the cards are double-sided. It's really cool, but it's overwrought. It feels like an old school CCG, and that is not a positive thing, honestly. Fuji Flush. This is a game that everyone but me likes. Even I don't dislike it that much, but there's just almost no strategy to it. You just play cards. You're trying to get rid of all the cards from your hand, but if you know people who like Uno and things like that, they'll probably love it. Then we have Planet Surprise. This is a scratch-off game where you're going to scratch off things, call out different planets you're scratching off, and at the end of the game have the most. Every once in a while, I'll look at someone else's card. It's unique. It's disposable, so take that into account. 13 Clues is a deduction game, which I think I would have liked more. Just felt like there was a lack of direction in it. And you can look at your cards. You can't see your cards. You're trying to figure out the 3 cards in front of you, but you have 2 cards no one else knows about. It's fine, but a bad player can ruin the experience, I felt. Quirkle. Always thought Quirkle was a great gateway game. Not necessarily one I love a lot, but I know a lot of people did, so I took a look at the 10th anniversary edition of it. Beautiful, great. Rainbow Rage, where you flip over a card and try to figure out what 2 colors have switched, or what 2 colors have stayed the same, or if the rainbow's in the right order. Roy G. Biv, funny little game. I don't know what the long-lasting effects of it are, but I think people will enjoy it. Fast Flip. Okay, well, in Fast Flip, you're turning over 2 cards, and you're turning over 1 card, but you're looking at the back of one to see how many fruits or which fruit there's 3 of to yell out or grab. A great game, especially for kids. Copy or not copy. Similar aspect where you flip over a card and you're trying to find the one thing on the card that has something in common with all the other things. It's hard to explain. Watch a review, but you're looking for the least unique item. Ulm. Ulm is a game from Hook and from R&R Games, which is about, I don't know, going down a river, building buildings. I'm not actually sure the theme, but it has a neat mechanism where you're sliding tiles and then taking the action of those tiles. Definitely very good, solid game. I also go like Dice Masters Iron Man and War Machine. Not one of my favorite of the set, but still pretty solid. Add some new special abilities, especially Suit Up, which is cool. And then I took a look at 2 expansions for Eldritch Horror, which I liked both of them a lot. Mountains of Madness and Under the Pyramids. Both of these expansions are big box expansions, which add a separate board, which you can use if you use one bad guy. But they also add more characters and more stuff and more characters is always good. And then finally, Rum and Bones Second Tide. Sam and I took a look at that. I love Rum and Bones. I love this version better. They've made better everything. I liked Rum and Bones anyway, but they made it more streamlined, more back and forth, made the characters more interesting. Definitely a huge improvement over the first game, which I didn't even know needed an improvement. So I'm really glad to play that one. One of my favorite games, Rum and Bones Second Tide. So folks, that's Week in Review. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.